night tonight. I hope you have a wonderful night tonight. I'm Nick Catelli, aka the Theater Bro. I know a lot of people are like, don't tell your real name. It's like, trust me, you'll figure out my real name in a heartbeat because I'm, an E-list. I would say X D F H list celebrity. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. No clue. But I hope you're having a really good night tonight. It is a beautiful week. Summer is right around the corner, so I hope you're really excited about summer. I don't know what you're up to, what you're doing, but hopefully it'll be a good time for you. But tonight on my little 10-minute live stream, we are talking about kairati or karate, right? And I didn't know a lot about karate as a kid, actually. And the only reason, karate, like working, in the industry and things like that, you see, karate and stunt doubles and fight choreography and stuff like that. And it's really amazing too. Like when you see fight choreography, like, all the moves, I can't do the moves without looking like an idiot. But you forget, there's like karate and taekwondo and then like other fancy name things and the Karate Kid, and then the Karate Kid made like a huge comeback because the Karate Kid was like the only successful show on YouTube, and then Netflix picked it up and it went on the movies. And from what I saw on the Karate Kid show, I was like, okay, it's kind of cool. I don't know. I didn't really get into the show, but the fight scenes were very well choreographed, right? Like these kids are like breaking out karate moves in a high school, and when I watch that, the whole time I'm thinking like, oh man, I wish I would have went to that high school to see like those fights, break out. Because I will say this, I will admit this, like as you know, um, a I guess semi middle aged adult, I've never actually seen a karate fight break out anywhere. Right, the only time I've ever seen karate fights were like on TV and movies and things like that. Now, my parents made me take karate. I took karate for a couple of years. I think I got up to like a green belt at one point, and I was a kid. And I think my parents made me take karate, like all parents did in the 90s, was like to toughen your kid up, right? Like I think a lot of parents in the 90s had this thing like, and I think maybe some parents are like that today, right? They're like, I'm gonna put my kid in karate so then he can go to school and defend the school against bullies and stand up to bullies using his karate moves. And as a kid, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna learn karate as a kid so I can stand up to the bullies at school, right? That's how I felt, right? Taking karate classes at the YMCA. But then you get there and you see all these movies and you think your karate instructor's gonna like come out of the ceiling, or your karate instructor's gonna do like a backflip and be like, hey kids, I'm sensei blah blah blah, and I'm from wherever they teach, I'm from Japan, China, and I thought that. And then lo and behold, like every karate instructor in America, I feel like is a middle-aged, overweight guy who like works out of a van. And that was the karate instructor I had. Like he had such a fat gut that you couldn't really see his belt because the gut hung over his karate black belt so much that I was like, "Are you sure this guy's a black belt?" And they have to like lift up his whole gut and be like, "Yeah, I'm a black belt." Um, but yeah, I just remember, and I remember the one thing is like when you take karate as like a little elementary school kid, when you take karate as a little elementary school kid, you're like, I'm gonna learn how to beat up bullies and like I'm gonna dominate the school, right? And then on the first day of karate, you're out of shape, like balding white karate sensei's like, oh yeah, don't use these moves, to attack people or anything like that. So I will say that was a little disheartening because like as a young theater kid. I was like, I'm gonna learn karate to stand up for myself. And then on day one, the guy's like, don't use your karate moves at school, right? And that was a really letdown because I was like, I went to my mom and dad. I was like, guys, I was told not to use any of my karate moves to fight the bullies at school. So yeah, I think that's like the biggest letdown of a karate. Like I kind it kind of makes me respect old school Cobra Kai, where it's like strike first, strike hard, ask questions later or something like that, because they're like, yeah, we're taking the bullies down, and then they became the bullies. It's like a whole thing, whatever. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, I like somebody to say I sound like John Cena. That's great. I'm the before picture of John Cena, the skinny, middle-aged, non-wrestling guy. I think I'd be a really good wrestler though. But yeah, that was karate for me. And they teach you all of the moves really slowly. So all of your karate moves are like really like, eh, whoo, Like, if I ever actually got into a karate fight at school, I would have to tell a bully, be like, "Hey, before we get into a fight and I whip out my taekwondo moves, can we go at half speed? Because that's the only way I've ever learned how to fight in karate is half speed because that's how they teach it." And you're like, huh, right? So I'm not gonna lie, I've never whipped out any of my karate moves ever. It was definitely a waste of my parents' money, and I forget why they pulled me out of it, and just trust me, yeah. So every parent out there who puts their little kid into a karate class because they're like, yeah, my kid's not going to get bullied on because he learns karate. Like, just have him watch a YouTube video. I think you will learn more on YouTube videos when it comes to like karate than going to a real karate class. But that brings me to my point: is there's all these karate classes and all these people learning karate, but I've never actually been in a bar or like a club or like anywhere where a karate fight has like broken out. And I've always wanted to see that too. Like two guys are like fighting over a girl, or one guy's drinking and he bumps into another guy and he like whips out his karate moves. And I'm like sitting there at the bar, like, whoa, there's a karate fight that's about to break out, bro. Like, I've always wanted to see that. And I've never gotten to see real karate fights like break out in public. And if you guys are like me, like you'll probably be like, yes, like you're like, whenever there's ever an inkling of like two people are gonna fight, we're like, people are they're just like glued to it, right? Like you could be like shouting out like, I'm getting attacked, or fire, fire, and people are like, whatever. But then if someone's like, they're gonna fight, like people just flock like, just I don't know, like deers in a headlight. So people are gonna fight. And then hopefully there's no karate moves. So it's really sad. So the moral of the story is like, yeah, like if you learn karate, use your karate in public so we can watch you, right? Because I did actually go, because I asked my dad, I was like, well, when do people actually like fight in karate? Because Cobra Kai or the Karate Kid, they get it wrong. Because when you watch it, they're just in their like little like you're wearing scrubs. Like I hate to like diss on karate outfits, but it's like I'm sorry, am I about to fight somebody, or am I gonna go do like small like plastic surgery or something like that, right? Like the outfit that you wear in karate is like, hey, we had all these like extra scrub outfits at a hospital. Do you want to use them to teach kids how to defend themselves? Here you go. Just dye them blue. And then you have the belt that like holds it all together. But I went to a real karate match one time. And when I say I went to a real match, I just looked in the window to like check it out. And if you didn't know this, they wear like tons and tons of gear so they can't get hurt. Like they have like helmets and goggles and like big pad. They look like one of those guys like when they're in a karate match, they look like one of those guys that like when a women's self-defense class is like, we need a guy to beat up, but we have to give him padding to wear so the women can just beat into him. That's what I felt like the karate people in the match I was watching were wearing, right? I was like, they're gonna do a karate match right now, and then 10 minutes later at the Y, they're gonna have women in a self-defense class, beat them up and get all of their aggression out. But I watched the match and it's kind of stupid because if you just get three touches on the body, that's like it's a point, right? And it's kind of dumb because I was thinking like, like in the Karate Kid or the movies, like these two guys are gonna lay into each other, like like in Street Fighter, right? I was hoping like a fireball would shoot out of somebody's hands, but sadly, that did not happen um, at all. So yeah, I guess the moral of the story is: are karate lessons a waste of time and money? Maybe. Does it really impress anybody if you have a black belt? I don't know. I don't know. One guy once told me he was an Eagle Scout, and I was like, okay, I don't know what you're going to do with that. That's not really opening up any doors for anybody. But hey, I don't know. Do you put that on your resume, by the way? Like you're like, I was a black belt in karate when I was 10. So if you hire me here at the Starbucks, anybody tries to like rob the Starbucks, I might be able to use some of my karate moves to fight people off at the Starbucks. I don't know. I feel like that'd be a really good selling point, though, if you're like interviewing for a job, is that you have a black belt in karate, and I would list that on my resume because I feel like that would work at any industry, right? They're like, oh, I see you have a black belt in karate. Yeah, we could use one of you here at the office in case one of our employees, tries to do something, and then you can kind of whip out your moves. So I guess yeah, you could put that in your resume or bring that up. Yeah. Karate. Hmm. It's just the gift that really doesn't give you anything, does it? Um, but yeah, that's it. That's my little 10-minute live cast tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Remember, like, subscribe, do all those amazing things. And I will talk to you guys next time.